Hello there, you guys. Welcome to another one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current and latest news. So if you do consider drop your likes, and if you do consider subscribe to the channel, as always, as I did say yesterday, as I was reflecting on the Manchester United Liverpool result, as I currently said, in my own personal opinion, I think it was a well point, in difficult circumstances, considering that three players had to come off through injury in the first half, but I still think we're showing some great spirit. As I currently said, Manchester United. I still think we are in a good run of form. To be quite honest with you. But the big question is, who are Manchester United going to play on Wednesday night against Crystal Palace, and that is going to be the big talking point. So he's going to be obviously rotating the squad differently. I do think obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer probably will likely recommend some youngsters to the trip to Crystal Palace on Wednesday night. So he's probably going to rotate that midfield quite differently, and obviously so too as well against Paris Saint-Germain, because obviously we all know that Paul Pogba is suspended, for the Paris Saint-Germain game. So I do think for Palace on Wednesday, he's going to recommend some youngsters to start. Is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Solskjaer's also give us an update in relation to Marcus Rashford as well, who actually saw out the 90 minutes against Liverpool yesterday, but he's got some kind of ankle injury. And he did say Rashford facing Crystal Palace would be a surprise, and this is what basically Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did say, reflecting on yesterday's result against Liverpool, he did say everything basically went wrong in the first half. But Solskjaer is still taking so many positives from the game. But he did say everything did go wrong in the first half. Obviously reflecting on the injuries we currently received in the game. So obviously what happened is it's confirmed as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer that one Herrera had to come off. Obviously he suffered a hamstring injury. He will be assessed probably later on in the week. So he came off with a hamstring injury, Herrera. And Herrera's progression this season as a Manchester United player, has been very good indeed. He's been pulling the strings off very well in that midfield, and I think especially since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's come in, his form's been rejuvenated. He's breaking up the play very well under Herrera. So we hope somewhere along the line, it isn't too serious under Herrera's injury. But yeah, he's played really well, and hopefully somewhere along the line, we can agree a new 3-year deal with Manchester United worth around I think £100,000 a week, and he does deserve it, based on his performances. He has been here since 2014, so this is like his fifth season now in the process. Is under Herrera, so he has got an hamstring injury. So then basically he had to come off in the game. So then basically Andres Pereira came on for Ander Herrera, and then of course Juan Mata came off as well in the game. He suffered a hamstring injury as well, as he confirmed it was all the players. He said Ander Herrera got a hamstring injury. He said Mata got a hamstring injury, and Lingard got a hamstring injury. So Mata obviously was playing in that free role yesterday in that number 10 position, just behind Lukaku and Rashford. One Matt had to come off. He had a hamstring injury, as that had confirmed. And we know mainly anywhere he hasn't been first choice under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but obviously due to the injury of Lingard, he has been playing Matt, in the last couple of games as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So he came off with a hamstring injury. Lingard did come on to replace him, but Lingard I think he was only on the pitch 15-20 minutes, and then Lingard had to come back off. And initially he wasn't fully fit anyway, Jesse Lingard, because obviously he just recently had a hamstring injury, Jesse Lingard. But his progression as a Manchester United player has been very good. Jesse Lingard, he's grown and developed fantastically well, risen up the youth system very well, and he's been looking very good, mainly, when he has been mainly, playing on that right hand side. Jesse Lingard, he can play as an attacking mid, but mainly under Solskjaer, he has been playing on that right hand side. And he did say initially that Jesse Lingard and Anthony Martial would be out, for 2 to 3 weeks, as he did confirm. Of course, Martial didn't make the trip because obviously, Martial's still got a current groin injury, as it confirmed. So Jesse Lingard came on. He had the best chance of the game, in my opinion, for Manchester United. It was a lovely threaded pass, from Romelu Lukaku. And, I do think, Jesse Lingard was unlucky, not to score that. I think if he'd been fully fit, there may have been a chance, that he would have got that, Jesse Lingard. So then Jesse Lingard had to come off because he was on the pitch within 20 minutes, and then he had to be replaced by Alexis Sanchez. Initially, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer didn't want to play Alexis Sanchez at all, because he did confirm before the game with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer that he's lost faith in Alexis Sanchez. He's lost trustworthy in Alexis Sanchez, and this is what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said. So basically, he didn't want to start Alexis Sanchez. So basically, what he said is before the game, he wanted to avoid playing Alexis Sanchez. He's lost all his trustworthy in him. He's lost all his faith in him, and I do think Manchester United are considering selling Alexis Sanchez in the summer. I think Manchester United are considering selling Alexis Sanchez in the summer because initially he didn't want to play Alexis Sanchez, but it got to the moment, with the injuries we were suffering, he had no choice but to bring Alexis Sanchez on. So basically, he had no other alterations, So basically, he had to bring Alexis Sanchez on in the game as well. But as I did say, I think Manchester United are going to sell him in the summer. To be quite honest, because he's failed to impress as a Manchester United player. As we all know, he's been here just over a year now. He's had a couple of injuries as well. Alexis Sanchez, lacked goals, and it was only the other week Solskjaer came out, saying in relation to Sanchez that he thinks his form will improve. He said he's confident that Sanchez's form will improve as a Manchester United player, and this is what basically Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had currently said. But then he did come out in the press saying that he wanted to avoid playing him before Liverpool, and he was even willing to rush Martial and Lingard back from injury, so he could basically avoid playing Alexis Sanchez. But it got to the moment where we had no choice. Sanchez had to come on, but it's obviously going to be hard to find a buyer for Sanchez in the summer, of course, because obviously the current wages he's receiving is obviously around £500,000 a week, as I said. But overall, it wasn't a great game, to be quite honest. Yesterday, it lacked a lot of clear-cut chances. I thought Liverpool, did get better of the game in the first half. They looked composed on the ball, but they just lacked that composure in the final third. The pitch couldn't really get that killer pass through, and I think it was a good defensive performance of Manchester United. I thought Luke Shaw played very, very well coming up against Mohamed Salah. To be quite honest here, I thought Chris Smalling played very, very well. That's his third start under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in a Manchester United shirt. He only initially made two changes from the Chelsea game, did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So the squad, the lineup he went with at the start of the game, he obviously went with De Gea. He returned. He went with Young at right back. He went with Smalling and Lindelof as centre back partnership. And I think Lindelof improving as a Manchester United player, showing that determination. That he can play out from the back. Lindelof. So Lindelof is playing really, really well. Indeed, his first season struggled, but this season, he's fitting in really, really well. He went with Luke Shaw at left back. He went with the midfield trio of obviously Ander Herrera, Scott McTominay, and Paul Pogba. Of course, because obviously we know that's another injury blow as well to Nemanja Matic. That's also been confirmed. And Nemanja Matic, we know that he's aging up, and I know I have strong reservations about him because he's very, very slow. But as I did say, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's come in, his performances have really, really improved as well. And of course, he's only out and out defensive midfielder, and obviously he has been mainly playing. He's been a regular starter in our midfield, Matic, and I think he's looked good alongside Herrera and Paul Pogba as Nemanja Matic. So I think he's been a very, very instrumental player in that midfield. Nemanja Matic under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. As it confirmed in relation to Matic, this did get confirmed before kick-off that it could be out for up to a month. I think it's initially a few weeks, but with some reports saying it could be out for up to a month. It has now what injury it is. It is some kind of muscle injury. Nemanja Matic has received. He is going to be assessed next week, so he's going to miss the games. He's going to miss Palace's Matic. He's going to miss Southampton. He's likely probably to miss PSG as well. So that's very, very bad news indeed. So Matic is also injured. So you had to put Scott McTominay there alongside Herrera and Pogba, to full the Nemanja Matic's spot. And then obviously went with Juan Mata in the number 10 role, and then obviously went with Lukaku and Rashford up top as I currently said. But yeah, Liverpool did get better with the game in the first half. They dominated the possession, but lacked that composure in the final third, and they didn't really sustain any pressure on us. To be quite honest with you, Liverpool, of course, lost a player of their own. They lost Firmino. They had to take Firmino off and bring Daniel Sturridge on. Of course, who has a current different style of play. Daniel Sturridge. So Liverpool, will be disappointed about that. They'd probably Liverpool maybe just a happy out of the both teams, because obviously, well, they'll be disappointed as well, considering that the injuries we got. Liverpool to be disappointed that that they didn't take advantage of that. To be quite honest with you, they do go back top. By a point to Liverpool. Of course, they're still going for the league. Of course, and they had the opportunity because that was their game in hand over Manchester City, Liverpool's. But obviously they're going for the league this season. Liverpool, of course, haven't won it. For 29 years now. All in all, they haven't won a major honour. Since 2006, and they've played well this season. They have invested in the last couple of seasons of Liverpool. You have spent quite a bit of money, but Jurgen Klopp's yet to prove himself in terms of silver. He did win a couple of titles at Dortmund, but he has not yet won out at Liverpool so far in his tenure with Liverpool, and he has been at Liverpool a couple of years now as Jurgen Klopp. So Jurgen Klopp was furious on that touchline. Liverpool probably will be disappointed. Because basically they had a lot of the possession. To be quite honest, but I thought Manchester United defended really, really well. Smalling had a good game. I thought Paul Pogba's stability was good. I thought he defended as well, very, very well. Indeed, Paul Pogba. We didn't really see how there was not much in an attacking sense. Especially from Liverpool. Liverpool didn't show out much in an attacking sense. I thought Liverpool mainly looked dangerous from set pieces. To be quite honest with you, because I couldn't remember remember them having a real clear-cut chance. I couldn't really, remember, David De Gea having to do out in the game as well. But yeah, 0-0 draw. I wouldn't have thought it'd been a 0-0 draw there before the game, as I currently said. But I think the injuries, killed the momentum of the game in the first half, to be quite honest with you. But now as it stands, it's 11 out of 14 in all competitions. Good news is, Solskjaer has now made history in the Premier League, for the club, which is very, very good news indeed. We have still won 8 in the league, which is good. So we still remain unbeaten in the Premier League under Solskjaer so far. We have won 7 away from home in all competitions. So we are looking for our 8th win away from home in all competitions against Palace on Wednesday night, as I said. But it is 11 out of 14 in all competitions. Still scored 30 goals in the process. You can still see the spirits in the team. You can see the vast improvements in the team, as I said. And obviously, there's still areas where we do need to strengthen up. We need a strong central defender, as we all know. We need someone on that right, and we need a centre defensive midfield that's fast and tenacious. And obviously, Solskjaer's going to have a say on our transfers in the summer, as I said, because we do expect departures as well. Obviously, it's essential that we get some new additions into the club in the summer. Reports do mention that we're going to get around a £200 million spending spree to spend in the summer. But everyone was saying before the game, if Manchester United win against Liverpool, Solskjaer should get the job on a full-time basis. But I think a point's good enough, for him now to get the job on a full-time basis, considering, the injuries we suffered in the first half and the players, that had to currently come off. But I think Solskjaer's now the favourite to get the job on a full-time basis. Reports come out the other week, about it as well, saying that Solskjaer will be named Man United manager on a full-time basis after reportedly the board. It got revealed by the board, reportedly, that he will be named Man United manager on a full-time basis, based on his fantastic progression so far, since he's come to the club, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And I do believe he can, get us in that commanding position we do want to be in. I do believe he can elevate this team forward, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as I said, because you can see the structure of the teams, right, the cohesion of the teams, right, as I currently said, guys. So the structure of the teams right, the cohesion of the teams right. And obviously, if we had to recommend him in on a full-time basis at the end of the season, we'd have to pay around 1.8 million to Mould. Around 7-8 million pounds, to Mould to get him on a full-time basis. Initially, we've already paid 1.8 million, to obviously get him on a temporary basis. But obviously, top four is definitely still on. It was a shame, obviously Arsenal won yesterday by 2-0, so they're now obviously, back in the top four now, so they go a point above us. But top four is definitely still on, without a shadow of a doubt. Hopefully somewhere along the lines, we can progress in the FA Cup as well. We are in the quarterfinals. That's against Wolves on the 16th of March. But as I did say, this man, knows everything about the club. Don't forget, he flourished under Ferguson for 11 years. Won loads and loads of trophies. Scored loads and loads of goals. As I said, in terms of being in his managerial career so far, Solskjaer hasn't won much. But I think that is to come. If we can get some new additions into the club in the summer. As I said, he still won a couple of two Norwegian titles, when he was Mould. He had 2 spells with Mould Solskjaer, And he won some trophies when he was managing the Manchester United reserve team as well. Did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He only had a short tenure with Cardiff, didn't do so good with Cardiff. But I think Solskjaer knows everything about Manchester United, of course, and I think he's the right man for the job. And obviously, he's a very, very cheap alternative as well. It only cost us £7-8 million, to give him the job on a full time basis. As I currently said, he's initially got a contract, with Mould until 2021, as Solskjaer, as I currently said. But it's been a terrific start under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. To be quite honest with you, I didn't expect this good a start, when he first came in, Solskjaer, because, he deserves it. He really does deserve it, does Solskjaer. We've beaten the likes of Arsenal away from home. We've beaten Chelsea away from home. We've beaten Tottenham away from home in the league as well. And we got a good draw against Liverpool yesterday. It wasn't the best of performances, but we had injuries. And when you lose your best players, it's going to kill the momentum in the team. It's going to knock the pace out of the team, as I currently said. And we know Ander Herrera's been a fantastic player under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he's been a regular, and he has been pulling them strings off well in the midfield, and he's showing that he is a really, really good ball playing midfielder, is Ander Herrera. So he's unlikely to make it for Crystal Palace on Wednesday as well. Matic is obviously going to be missing Wednesday, that's for definite. It's unlikely as well that Juan Mata is going to be missing Wednesday's game. Matic is definitely missing Wednesday's game. Lingard's going to be missing Wednesday's game. Martial's going to be missing Wednesday's game. So he's going to be rotating the squad. Is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer now for Wednesday night. And I do think Solskjaer's going to recommend some youngsters, to come in. I think in that defensive area, it'll probably go with the same defensive line, or he may make one change, something like that. But it'll go with a similar defensive line. But in that midfield, he'll rotate that midfield. He'll probably bring in Scott McTominay and Fred alongside Pogba, or he'll probably bring like the likes of Scott McTominay, Pereira, and Pogba, something like that. So he will recommend a couple of youngsters in, and basically I think Fred maybe even given the opportunity on Wednesday night, believe it or not, against Palace, and in that front line, obviously now Rashford's a big doubt, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's confirmed, saying he would be surprised if Rashford could play on Wednesday against Palace. He's now got an ankle injury, and Rashford didn't play to his potential best against Liverpool, because you could see basically he's like lightning, when he's fully fit. Marcus Rashford, he gets them runs in behind and all that, Rashford. But it just wasn't that, yesterday, because obviously, he was currently not fully fit, Marcus Rashford, because he's got some type of ankle injury, as it has explained. So he's going to be rotating that probably attacking line, differently now. Probably Lukaku will be probably, be in contention anywhere, even though he hasn't been a regular starter, Romelu Lukaku, for Manchester United mainly. We know mainly Rashford has been first choice over Romelu Lukaku, but I've been really impressed, with Marcus Rashford's progression, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's come in. He's been United player since the age of 7, progressed up the ranks very well, and he has been in the senior squad since 2016, as Marcus Rashford, as we all know, endured a difficult time under Jose Mourinho, but since Rashford, since Solskjaer's come in, Rashford's been playing a key role. He's been looking very effective centrally, and I can see his goal scoring form's been improving. He's been getting them runs in behind. His finishing's really improved, as well as Marcus Rashford's. Good news did come out that Rashford has indicated he's on the verge of signing a new 6-year deal with Manchester United, worth around I think £200,000 a week, which is very good news indeed. So this would take him under contract until 2025. Initially his current deal ends in 2020 with an option of a further year as well. But if he was to sign this new 6-year deal, it would take him to the age of 27. It'd still be classed as being in his young prime years then, and it'd take him till the age of 27, which is very good news, because he's 21 at the moment, he's Marcus Rashford. But that's very good news indeed. But there has been breakthrough in negotiations in that as well, but he has got an ankle injury. We hope that it's not too severe in relation to Marcus Rashford, because we do know how much of an essential player Marcus Rashford is, but we know mainly he has been first choice over Romelu Lukaku, but now Lukaku may get a bit more opportunities. Obviously I know Lukaku was playing yesterday, but overall since Solskjaer's coming, he's really lost his place in the starting 11 as Romelu Lukaku. But as I did say, now with Rashford suffering this ankle injury, he will likely be starting anywhere on Wednesday night, will Romelu Lukaku. But in relation to Romelu Lukaku, I think he's a player that could leave Manchester United in the summer, because obviously he's lost his place in the team as Romelu Lukaku, as I currently said. And Lukaku, is very slow. We all have concerns about his first touch, as we all currently know, Romelu Lukaku's. But I think his form has been slightly rejuvenated, since Solskjaer's coming, when he has been given the opportunity, Romelu Lukaku, as I currently said. But still got a good pedigree in the Premier League. He scored loads and loads of goals in the Premier League, throughout his playing career in the Premier League, Romelu Lukaku. But as I did say, now Rashford being injured, I think now he'll definitely, get a lot more opportunities than he initially has done, Romelu Lukaku. But it depends, obviously, how severe, Marcus Rashford's injury is. He has suffered an ankle injury, as it has currently confirmed. But I think Man United may plan, to get rid of Romelu Lukaku in the summer as well, because obviously Solskjaer does get the job permanently overall. Lukaku's days are numbered at Old Trafford, as I currently said. But for now, with Rashford being injured, he may be allowed now to get a lot more opportunities than he has been doing under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer tenure, as I said. And in relation to Martial and that being injured as well now, and of course Lingard and all that, I think now Sanchez maybe could be get a couple of more opportunities, from the start. Alexis Sanchez, even though Solskjaer did confirm he's lost trustworthy in Alexis Sanchez and he's lost faith in Alexis Sanchez. Obviously, he's endured a difficult time at Man United. He's lost that yard of place. He is age 30, and he's not the player he was at Arsenal, Alexis Sanchez, and he is Premier League proven him, as I said. And we know that what he's capable of, and he can play very well, can Alexis Sanchez, as we all currently know, because he can be a talented player, as we all currently know, but he just hasn't proven himself at Manchester United. I just think he hasn't fitted in the team, Alexis Sanchez. But I think, with all the injuries we've got now, I think Solskjaer hasn't got an option. I think he'll probably have to bring Sanchez into the squad on Wednesday night, to be quite honest with you. He doesn't want to play Alexis Sanchez, I don't think, but, due to the injuries we've got, especially to Martial on that left-hand side, because obviously we know Martial's been mainly first choice over Sanchez on the left-hand side, but obviously with Martial injured, he'll probably have to bring, Sanchez in, and obviously Rashford's now injured. He'll probably have no choice but to probably, bring Sanchez in, to be quite honest with you. But Sanchez has really failed to impress, and I think the club are considering, getting rid of Alexis Sanchez in the summer as well. But yeah, it was a well-earned point yesterday, in terms of difficult, in difficult circumstances. We saw three of our players players, go off through injury. Two of them essential players. Mata, he's still a really, really good, consistent player. Don't get me wrong, but we know mainly anyway hasn't been first choice under Solskjaer. But obviously due to the injury of Lingard, he's been playing in the last couple of games as Juan Mata, as we all currently know, guys, as well. But it was a well-earned point. 0-0 draw, as I said. It wasn't the best of game, as I said. The best chance we had with Lingard. We had a chance at the end, through Chris Smalling as well. Mainly, really, Chris Smalling, should have put that away, to be quite honest with you. But I'm surprised he didn't start Bay at that central defensive area. He probably may give Bay a chance on Wednesday night, against Crystal Palace, as I said. But in the last couple of games, to be fair to Smalling, even though I said I don't highly rate him anymore, he's played well in the last couple of games alongside Lindelof, as Chris Smalling show. His distribution's been looking very, very good. He's shown that determination to play out from the back, and I think defensively he's played very, very well, Chris Smalling, as I said. But Luke Shaw had a great game yesterday. I thought, he dealt with Mohamed Salah very, very well indeed. So I was impressed. But yeah, a few transfer rumours coming up now. Obviously, we know we're looking to get some new signings in the summer, as we all currently know. We've identified, players, that we might be interested in getting in the summer, as I've already negotiated with you guys, of course. There was reports coming out from the Metro earlier on in relation to Ivan Rakitic, the Barcelona midfielder, Ivan Rakitic. Reportedly did say Man United are reportedly keeping a close eye out on Ivan Rakitic, the Barcelona midfielder. He did initially say he's been actually a Chelsea target as Ivan Rakitic, and I think a few other teams have also been interested in Ivan Rakitic as well. But Ivan Rakitic is, 30 years of age now. Ivan Rakitic, obviously he's aging up. He can play as a central midfielder. He can play as an attacking midfielder as well. But I think from Ivan Rakitic, his perspective, he insists that he's very, very happy with Barcelona, and he has no intentions of leaving Barcelona. He has currently got a contract with Barcelona until 2021, Ivan Rakitic, as I said. But I think there's been speculation going on about it that he could leave Barcelona in the summer, reportedly, because obviously, Barcelona did confirm the signing of Frankie de Jong from Ajax for £65 million, was it? So it is initially a year in advance. So he's going to be officially joining Barcelona and in the new season. He's going to be officially playing for Barcelona in the new season, is Frankie de Jong. And this initially means that, now he's arriving, Frankie de Jong. Ivan Rakitic could be surplus to requirements, and in the new season, he could find game time very, very hard. Ivan Rakitic, and he's a very, very good player, got good physical attributes, as I said, but he's aging up. We don't really want him, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, he's had a good playing career, Ivan Rakitic. He's won 12 honours, at Barcelona. I think he's been at Barca since 2014. He's obviously an ex. Who else was he? Was an ex-Sevilla player as well, where he spent a couple of years. He did win the Europa League in his three-year tenure with Sevilla. He had 3.5 years with Schalke as well. He actually began his career as a youngster with Basel, did Ivan Rakitic as well. So that was just reported in the Metro. I think Inter Milan have also been interested in Ivan Rakitic as well. But we're looking for the defensive mid and all that, who's very, very young in their prime, or youngish, because we've got Matic who's obviously out now for injury, as I said, but he's slow, and we do need someone basically, that's fast and tenacious, as I couldn't said, guys. But there's been other news, rumours going on, in relation, that Manchester United, of course, have been linked, with Borussia Dortmund's Jadon Sancho, as we all currently know. There's been a lot of talk. There's been a narrative going on about that, for the last 3 or 4 weeks now, as we all currently know, about Jadon Sancho. And you know what? I do really, really highly rate Jadon Sancho, to be honest. He's very, very young in his prime, is Jadon Sancho, as we all currently know. He's mainly a winger, as Jadon Sancho, as we all know, but he has got that ability to tap, score goals and provide, as Jadon Sancho. So I do think, he's a very, very good player. And since he's broken into the first team, with Borussia Dortmund, Jadon Sancho's performances have been very, very impressive indeed, Jadon Sancho's. As I did currently say, he's been at Borussia Dortmund a couple of years. It did say if Man United have got any hopes of signing Jadon Sancho, we have to get top 4 this season and obviously get Champions League, qualification for next season if we have got any hopes of getting Jadon Sancho. Reports have said Man United have identified him as a summer target, Jadon Sancho, but I said very, very young in his generation, still got a lot of years ahead of him, as I said, and it could cost Man United a 9-figure sum. It could cost us up to £100 million, to get Jadon Sancho in the summer, but it will cost at least £70 million or upwards, for Manchester United, to get Jadon Sancho, as I said. But yeah, Jadon Sancho, since he's been at Borussia Dortmund, his performances have been very, very good. I think this is now his second season at at Dortmund. I think he has got a contract with Dortmund until 2022 as Jadon Sancho as well. He's obviously had experience of playing in the Premier League as Jadon Sancho, because he had a couple of years with Manchester City, the Jadon Sancho as well. He never got into the first team with Manchester City, but he did play for Manchester City for a couple of years. He actually began his youth career with Watford, where he spent a lot of years with Watford as well. But as I did currently say, guys, City, I think Manchester City would receive around 15% of the transfer fee, if we were to come to an agreement to get him in the summer, because City inserted a 15% sell-on clause in terms of the deal, and City do have a buyback option on the current player. I think they do have a buyback option on the current player, the Manchester City, so they did insert a buyback clause in his current contract. Initially, Borussia Dortmund only paid £7-8 million for him for Manchester City, so financially, they would make a huge profit on Jadon Sancho. If they want to sell him in the summer, but Borussia Dortmund know how much of an essential player Jadon Sancho is to them. But as I did currently say, if Man United are willing to offer around 100 million in the summer, that would probably convince Dortmund to sanction Jadon Sancho off. But he has got a really good physical attributes as Jadon Sancho, without a shadow of a doubt. But we have identified him as a summer target. But Borussia Dortmund are known for doing business with their players. They did it with Christian Pulisic, as we all know. They did it with Aubameyang. They did it with Ousmane Dembele, sold into Barcelona for around 105, 106 million pounds, as we all currently know as well. So we've identified him as a possible target. We know we've also been interested in Juventus' Douglas Costa. The reports coming out about that the other week that we had showed an interest in Douglas Costa. I don't think Man United will probably go for him in the summer, but as reports do say, Juventus could be open to selling Douglas Costa this summer, as I currently said, because obviously since the arrival of Ronaldo, he's really struggled to hit a run of form. He struggled, to get that game time. Douglas Costa, as I currently said, and he's highly experienced. He's 28 years of age. He's Douglas Costa. His dribbling's good. He can put crosses into the box. As reports were saying the other week that he could be available for £53 million in the summer. Douglas Costa as well. He is Brazilian, as we all know, but Juventus made the deal permanent last summer by paying £36 million. Was it £36 million? To Bayern Munich. Well, initially he was on a 1-year loan with Juventus, but Juventus last summer, of course, made the deal permanent. But throughout, obviously, there was talks about this last year that allegedly Man United had put around a £54 million bid in for Douglas Costa. Reportedly, this had been turned down as well. Allegedly, I don't know if if it's guaranteed, but it was alleged anywhere. But the reports coming out saying that I did like a Twitter post linking in with a move to Old Trafford. Douglas Costa. He isn't our number one target, but I think Manchester United have showed a slight interest in him. And throughout his playing career, he's been a very good player. He had 5 good years with Shakhtar Donetsk. Douglas Costa, he won trophies there. He had a good couple of years with Bayern Munich as well. Douglas Costa. So throughout his playing career, he has got a good pedigree. In terms of winning trophies and that. He won the domestic double in his first season. With Juventus as well. But he's been a potential Manchester United target. We've kept an interest in him as well. We know that young Benfica star. There were reports coming out about that the other week. That that Man United, of course, have been interested in that young Benfica lad, only 19 years of age. He's called Felix, as we are more currently know. Only 19 years of age, as I said. Only broke into the Benfica first team this year, as we all last year, sorry, should I say. He broke into the Benfica first team last year, but reportedly, since he's broke into the first team, his performances have been very good. He's yet to make his senior debut for Portugal, but as reports do mention, he has got a buyout clause of around £105 million, this Benfica youngster. As I did currently say, Man United have instructed scouts, to keep a close eye out on the player. But he did say throughout the course of the January window, that a few teams, were interested in Felix. He's mainly a winner, but he can play in his other positions as well. So, this Felix is versatile, as I currently said. So we have, been keeping a close eye out on him as well. And, Man United scouts, have been watching him on a regular basis. Man United scouts have been watching him on a regular basis. And obviously defensively, we've looked at quite a few defensive targets, as we all currently know as well. Defensively, we've looked at quite a few targets. Obviously, we know the major priority target for the summer is obviously, Napoli's Koulibaly, as we all currently know. And as reports were emerging from the press the other day, explained that reportedly his agent had revealed and he'd come out and basically said that Koulibaly would not betray Napoli by joining Juventus, and this is what his current agent said. So basically ruled him out making the move to Juventus. We still may not get Koulibaly in this summer because recent reports not too long ago did say he was fully committed to Napoli, was happy at Napoli, even though he did admit he was attracting he was happy that he was attracting interest Koulibaly. But we know we've identified him as our major number one target for the summer, you know, the Senegal international. And of course, he's still got a contract with Napoli till 2023, but he's 27. He's grown, developed, and flourished fantastically well under, you know, he grew and developed fantastically well under Maurizio Sarri, and now under Carlo Ancelotti, you know, his performances have really improved as well. And it would take a bid if he was to be up for sale in the summer window of at least £90 million to get him anywhere. So we could potentially make him the most expensive defender in the world, you know, if we are to get, you know, Koulibaly in the summer. As I said, in the process we had 3 bids, you know, turned down for Koulibaly, you know, back in the January transfer window. You know, the recent one obviously, you know, was £95 million. Financially, Napoli would make a huge profit on the player because Napoli only paid £7 million for him from Genk, but obviously Napoli do know, obviously from their perspective, how much of an essential player he is to them. You know, every area of his game is adapted, you know, fantastically well. His physicality is very good as well. He's also good in the air and he's tall, you know, which is very beneficial. And we know if we were to get him, he'd be a great leader in our back line, and we know he would be a major signing, you know, with Napoli's Koulibaly. But we've been, the rumours do continue to persist. It may not be true on everything what's being said, but, you know, we always just give you an update anywhere of what, you know, rumours are explaining, you know, in relation, you know, to Manchester United, you know, being linked with Koulibaly, as I said. But yeah, you know, we'll probably, you know, try, you know, try our luck in the summer and see if we can come to an agreement, because obviously Napoli, you know, we're standing firm and they were being reluctant to sell him in the January transfer window, as we all currently know, guys. But as I did say, you know, I do expect departures in the summer. As I do keep saying to you guys, you know, I do expect Valencia to leave this club in the summer. He's out for a couple of weeks anyway. He's had a couple of injuries this season, but I do expect Valencia to leave in the summer. And I do expect, you know, quite a few experienced players, you know, to leave in the summer as well. So I do expect Valencia to leave. In relation to Marcus Rojo, could he leave in the summer? I enjoyed a very difficult time as a Manchester United player. He can be good there as a backup option because he's versatile, but, you know, he's had a lot of injuries, struggled to get a run of games under his belt, and, you know, he struggled with his fitness regime and all that, and he's, you know, he's suffered quite a lot of injuries as Marcus Rojo, so he could leave in the summer, you know, to maybe leave space in that central defensive area. In relation to Darmian, I think he's on his way out of the club as well in the summer as well, and he's obviously injured, you know, for a couple of weeks as well, you know, Matteo Darmian, so I could see him, you know, leaving the club as well. In relation, you know, to Andres Pereira, now obviously we've got injuries to the likes of Nemanja Matic and Ander Herrera, all that. Now he may get more chances, Andres Pereira in the team. As I said, even though Man United have been in talks of getting him a new contract, Andres Pereira, but obviously from the young player's perspective, he has strong reservations about his game time, as we all know. But for now, with Matic being injured and Herrera being injured, maybe now he could, you know, get recommended, you know, to get some opportunities. You know, Andres Pereira, Scott McTominay could be getting now more opportunities as well. So too Fred, you know, could be getting more opportunity. He could get more opportunities now, as I currently said. You know, we've obviously, because we've got Herrera injured, Matic is injured, also too Juan Mata's injured as well, and it's really bad news, you know, to be quite honest with you. But as I did clearly say, I do expect, you know, Sanchez, you know, to leave Manchester United in the summer, you know, without a shadow of a doubt. I think he will definitely leave in the summer. Lukaku likely to leave in the summer as well. In addition, obviously would want a replacement for Lukaku, you know, if he is to go. There were talks going on saying, you know, we could sell Lukaku and Sanchez, you know, to fund the move for Jadon Sancho. You know, there was talks about that going on the other week in the media as well. But other results yesterday, as we see, let me just charge my phone up, guys. Other results yesterday, as we did currently see, Manchester City did win the Carabao Cup final. So they did win the Carabao Cup, did Manchester City. Well, initially, you know, the game ended 0-0, but Manchester City did win the final on currently penalties. So it wasn't a stroll in the park, you know, for Manchester City, you know, like it was in the other game, you know, when Manchester City, you know, beat Chelsea 6-0, you know, to be quite honest with you. Didn't watch the game, you know, to be quite honest with you, but that's another trophy, you know, in Manchester City's locker, and, you know, Pep Guardiola yet again has won another trophy. I think that's his 27th trophy now, Pep Guardiola's, if I'm right, But he's really, really good manager, as I said. He's won trophies as a player. He's winning trophies as a manager, as I couldn't said, Pep Guardiola. But he has invested a lot of money, Let's be honest, Pep Guardiola's invested a lot of money. Obviously, more than half of that has been spent at Manchester City, and he's emulated the football, what he did at Barcelona and Bayern Munich, and he has brought to Manchester City, to be quite honest with you, because obviously they've won the Carabao Cup this season. They won it last season as well against Arsenal, comfortably by 3-0. Of course, they won the Premier League last season as well, did Manchester City. From their perspective, they think basically, the quadruple's on. They won't win the quadruple. That's not going to happen. I don't think any team in history has ever won the quadruple, especially in England, as I currently said. But what I heard, Chelsea, put a really, really good fight up yesterday, apparently. Chelsea played very, very well yesterday. The closed Man City down well. Reportedly, they passed the ball very, very well, did Chelsea. And from a Chelsea perspective, they will feel hard done, and Chelsea will basically, feel unlucky, that they didn't get out of that game, because obviously they had a few injury concerns going into the game, did Chelsea. I think City had a few injury concerns as well, before going into the game as well. But basically, Chelsea will be disappointed, but they did, put a decent performance out, because they've been recently, in a bad run of form of Chelsea, as we all currently know. They have been having a lot of negativity. They have had a lot of negative results, lately. But Chelsea will feel hard done. But there was an incident in the game that everybody has been talking about. I actually watched this on YouTube. This is in relation, to the Chelsea goalkeeper, Kappa. This is in relation to the Chelsea goalkeeper, Kepa. Reportedly, Maurizio Sarri reportedly, wanted to substitute Kepa in the game, and reportedly Kepa was refusing, to come off the pitch, and it ended up that Kepa did actually, stay on the pitch, throughout the course of the game, as I said. But the Chelsea goalkeeper refused to come off the pitch. Sarri wanted him to come, Sarri wanted to substitute Kepa due to a current injury or something like that. But Kepa, did refuse to come off the pitch. And then Sarri, obviously got frustrated and all that. Then I think Sarri threw a bottle in the Wembley dugout, and then he actually stormed off down the tunnel. Did Maurizio Sarri. A lot of people may have been thinking he was walking out of the job and all this, but you could understand, Maurizio Sarri's frustration, because obviously he's the manager, he's the boss. Kepa was basically, refusing, to come off the pitch, and then obviously lost his temper, did Sarri, threw that bottle in the Wembley dugout and actually stormed off down the tunnel, as I currently said. But as I did say, Sarri's future is uncertain as Chelsea manager, as we all know, because as we all know, recently he has been under a serious pressure, as Maurizio Sarri, considering, Chelsea's a bad run of form. But I did say if they could maybe win the next 4-5 games, the pressure will ease off on Maurizio Sarri. Of course, the only chance they have got of silverware this season now, Chelsea, is obviously if they can progress in the Europa League and win the Europa League. Obviously, they are they are through to the next round of the Europa League of Chelsea. I can't remember who they got, because I didn't see who they initially got, Chelsea. But the only chance of silverware this season is to win the Europa League. And obviously, there was talks going on. Chelsea basically have to get for top 4 this season, and obviously get Champions League for next season. So, Maurizio Sarri's job, can basically, be saved possibly as Chelsea manager. Or, of course, if they win the Europa League, of course, they get automatic Champions League qualification for next season, the Chelsea, as I said. But yeah, I did say, Maurizio Sarri has been under so much pressure, and obviously he has a different type of philosophy, does Maurizio Sarri. Doesn't have that pedigree in terms of winning any silverware, because he's yet to win a major honour as a manager, Maurizio Sarri. And a while back he was talking about mentality and motivation, and when he was at Napoli, his system worked at Napoli, did Maurizio Sarri's. So really, you can't blame Maurizio Sarri yesterday. Chelsea give it all in all. They did really, really well yesterday, and that's coming from a Man United fan. Chelsea did. Even though I didn't watch the game, but I watched, I didn't watch the whole match, but what I meant is I watched, some of the highlights. And Chelsea did control the game very, very well, and Chelsea will feel hard done by in that game. To be quite honest with you, it did come out in the press. Was it 3 or 4 days ago that Chelsea have identified a couple of managerial replacements? If Sarri is to be sacked, Frank Lampard got mentioned to replace Sarri. Zinedine Zidane also got mentioned as well. It did say Chelsea could consider, appointing Gianfranco Zola as caretaker till the end of the season as well. But I think it will take a lot of convincing, from Chelsea to get Zinedine Zidane anywhere. Zinedine Zidane hasn't been managing since the end of last season, and it did reportedly say he'd only join if they were to give him around £200 million to spend in the summer, and if Eden Hazard, of course, was to stay as well. And obviously, that looks very, very likely now that Eden Hazard's going to be staying at Chelsea anyway, considering now that Chelsea have currently got this transfer ban for 2 windows. Obviously, as it reported the other day, that FIFA have given this transfer ban for basically for breaching around transfers, of minors. This is the reason why Chelsea have been given this transfer ban. So this means they can't do any transfer activity in the summer. They can't do any transfer activity next January, so they'll have to basically wait until the summer of 2020. Chelsea, of course, have appealed against this decision of what currently FIFA have currently made. And Chelsea obviously were planning, to recommend some new signings to go to their club in the summer. And of course, they'll be disappointed that they can't get a replacement for Cesc Fabregas that they wanted to do. Players could still leave Chelsea in the summer, don't get me wrong. Gary Cahill's been constantly left out of the squad. David Luiz is yet to sign a new contract with Chelsea. Danny Drinkwater, I don't think he's played for them all season either. But I think now Eden Hazard will definitely be staying at Chelsea, because obviously Chelsea will be standing firm now. Obviously they probably won't be bothered about the £100 million that they did want initially, Chelsea from Real Madrid. But they do want to keep Eden Hazard, obviously, because they've got a transfer ban. If they let Eden Hazard go, obviously they can't get a replacement for Eden Hazard, because obviously they have got that transfer ban for a couple of windows. Chelsea got fined £460,000. The Football Association got fined £390,000 as well. But yesterday, Eden Hazard wasn't actually playing on the left-hand side. He was playing centrally. He's playing in the centre, with someone on the left of him, someone on the right of him. Couldn't remember who it was. But yeah, Chelsea, played, well yesterday, to be quite honest with you. And it wasn't, the best of performances from Manchester City. But all they'll care about is, they still got the job done over on penalties and all this, as I currently said. But yeah, probably Chelsea maybe will probably stick with Maurizio Sarri. It's only his first season, don't forget. Chelsea, did really, really well earlier on in the season. They went 18 games undefeated under Maurizio Sarri. So probably a lot of Chelsea fans will still say, give him a bit more time, Maurizio Sarri and all that. But that incident, what happened yesterday, was absolutely disgraceful, from Kepa, the Chelsea goalkeeper. I think Chelsea didn't they pay £70 million for him last summer. I can't remember who they got him from now, Kepa. Who did they get? I can't remember who they got him from. Was it Bilbao or something? I can't remember who they got him from. But yeah, it was a disgrace, and a lot of Chelsea fans saying he was a disgrace. Basically refused to come off the pitch. Sarri demanded him, to come off the pitch, because Sarri wanted to substitute him because he, suffered some kind of injury, did Kepa, and then basically refused. And then basically, obviously, Sarri basically, lost his temper. Basically, threw a bottle in the Wembley dugout. Obviously stormed off down the tunnel as well. And you can't blame Maurizio Sarri. So them Chelsea not winning that game is obviously not Sarri's responsibility, because Chelsea, give it all in all in that game. So Chelsea will be disappointed with that current result. So Chelsea will just have to hope from their perspective, they can either get top four or, of course, win the Europa League. So then at least they'll have some silverware, to cheer about, from their perspective, as I say. But as I was saying at the beginning of the video, yes, so it's going to be a big game for us on Wednesday, as I currently said, against Crystal Palace. Should be an easy Manchester United win anywhere, but we have got concerns of injuries, because we have now, got a string of injuries. So we know now it's likely Lingard won't be playing Wednesday, Rashford won't be playing Wednesday, because Solskjaer did say Rashford facing Palace would be a surprise, meaning it's very, very unlikely he's going to be featuring against Palace. It's obviously Herrera's not going to be playing, unlikely he's going to be playing. Mata, of course, he's not going to be playing as well. Pogba will be playing, but he won't play against Paris Saint-Germain because he's suspended for that game. As I clearly said, obviously we know Matic won't be playing as well. Martial's still injured, as I said, so he's going to be rotating it a bit differently. Solskjaer, and I do think he's going to recommend some youngsters to come in on Wednesday. In relation, I think we're going to beat Palace comfortably. To be quite honest with you, Palace are a poor team. They are sitting 13th in the league. Last season we beat them 3-2 at Selhurst Park. It was a late winner from who was it now? It was Nemanja Matic, I think it was. Yeah, it was Nemanja Matic. We beat them 4-0 at Old Trafford last season as well. The game earlier on in the season did end a goalless draw as well between United and Crystal Palace. Palace did win their previous game by 4 goals to 1 against Leicester, as we all know. But yeah, Palace is sitting 13th in the table. Roy Hodgson's their manager. I think he's managed 20 teams as Roy Hodgson. To be quite honest with you. But yeah, so I think it should be. I still think Man United will win. So hopefully we can get back to winning ways against Crystal Palace. And we haven't lost to them since 2011 in the league. League Cup. That's the last time, we basically, lost to Crystal Palace. So overall, anyway, we've got a very, very good record over Palace, as I said. So anyway, that's everything to update today, guys. So if anything more updates, we will be updating you on that. As I said, Herrera's as I did say. So the injuries we've got, Herrera's likely to miss Wednesday. Matic is definitely missing Wednesday. Mata's going to be probably missing Wednesday as well. Martial's missing Wednesday. Lingard's going to be missing Wednesday. So there's going to be some rotations in that team, especially in the midfield. So I do think Solskjaer's going to recommend the likes of Pereira, Scott McTominay, to probably play as well. Maybe Fred, maybe give an opportunity as well, guys. So we know mainly the midfield trio under Solskjaer has been Pogba, Matic and Herrera, because they've looked very, very effective together. And we know mainly in that attacking position since Solskjaer's coming, in that attacking trio, it has been Martial on the left, mainly Rashford central, Lingard on the right. But obviously we can't now because we have got a string of injuries. So it's obviously we'll have an 11 for Wednesday, as I currently said. But obviously, he'll probably recommend some youngsters to play, where will Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, that's obviously more than likely to happen. So anyway, drop your comments, likes on the channel, guys. If you do consider subscribing as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon. Thank